On this week's show, folks, there's a new German instructor on the strength platform by the name of Marcel.
And we have more news on a possible rower and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 47 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm John Pruitt, joined as always by my co-host Amanda Siegel. Hey now, Amanda.
Hey, John. How are you?
I am well.
And I am even better. I'm a little all over the place. It's been quite a week for me. And yeah, of course, I'm going to share it with you guys on the show. I mean, how can I not? But I spent the last 3 days in Las Vegas getting to see Usher live. But you know what, John? The story is actually quite cool. Literally a year ago Tuesday, the Leanne Hainsby Yes to You crew was created. It birthed. We said it was birthed. And that day I connected with a Peloton member in Pennsylvania. Didn't know her from anything. And we connected. She reached out to me, asked me what the story was, the scoop was, why this new group was formed. And we just kind of hit it off. And as time progressed, we became really, really good friends, speaking, on a regular basis, pretty much in the beginning, all about Peloton, to where it actually became an amazing friendship. I had her over. I did a Peloton reunion. You guys that watch the show regularly will know that, but I had a little Peloton get together for folks a couple months ago, and she drove down from Philly to the get together, which was a ton of fun. And then she asked me to join her. She had 2 tickets to see Usher in Las Vegas. It was an early 50th birthday present that she was given. And she asked me to join her. And we did this whirlwind little trip where we flew out on Tuesday and got to see Usher on Wednesday night and flew back on Thursday. But I have to tell you, it is just insane how the power of this community truly is. And some of my best friends now are, in fact, just folks, from the community. So it was phenomenal. And I don't want to gloat too much, but the seats we had were epic. Usher came into the audience. He started the show in the audience and actually came out, right where we were standing, or we were sitting at least. And then halfway through the show, he came back into the audience, stood literally in front of us, and then got to touch Tracy's hand. As he came past, he kind of put his hands out as he was like kind of running back, and Tracy got to touch him, and she was just beside herself because I was filming it all. But what an amazing experience. My point being, though, as fantastic as the trip was, and we really just had the most amazing couple days together, it just shows you guys. And I know so many of you that have watched the show have these fantastic connections that people have made. And who would have thought, that a bike that takes us nowhere has taken us to places that we never thought we'd ever go. So it truly was a special week, a really special week. So
that's great.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous. A little jealous. I've never seen Usher.
To say, he is I've always loved Usher, I didn't really know his old music, interestingly enough. I definitely was more familiar with his more, pop music that he's done in the last couple of years. But he has a very vast genre of music. He does a little bit of everything. He is the most phenomenal performer. And we were actually saying that I think today it's no longer about how you sing, it's about how you end up performing. And the performance was just spectacular. He had about 5 custom changes, came out on roller skates in one of them, which was really cool, and did an amazing job. Had a in his song Shorty, he had a couple pole dancers up there. Boy, I didn't know I needed to see as much as I saw, but it was definitely fun. So and I loved sitting there knowing that he rides a Peloton. We have our Usher classes, of course. I've done them, and it was fun to know that we have our Usher artist series to go back to. And of course, we spoke at the time of homecoming of his connection with Ally Love and having had the interview. So it was kind of just cool to kind of put it all together, and the fact that I was there with one of my Peloton cronies. So tons of fun, folks. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. You can't top that, can you?
No. So a member once sent me last year a free Legends of Fun water bottle.
I love it.
I've had some very generous members send me some, swag over the years, but no Vegas trip to see Usher.
No Vegas trip. Yeah, what can I say? You got to hang with the right people. So a shout out to my beautiful friend Tracy McCann, Atomic Blonde One. You rock, baby, and we really had an awesome time. So. Well, we have a lot today, right? So I think before we get started with the news, we always do like to remind you folks how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to never miss an episode.
Yep. And if you prefer to listen to us in traditional podcast format, we are on all platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV, hit subscribe, click notifications so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review if you like the show, if you have some feedback, maybe a guest recommendation for an upcoming interview. Please let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And finally, we are on Facebook and Instagram. Just search the Pelo Buddy logo and follow us on those platforms to never miss an episode. And I guess let's now get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right.
Well, folks, I get to start, and we kick off today's news, not with a rumor, but with some facts. Peloton has added a new coach to their slew of instructors. The new coach, Marcel Maurer, and I'm sure I'm butchering his last name, and I apologize, Marcel, will primarily be a strength coach for the German community. His premiere has already dropped just this past Wednesday, July 27th, and was a 20-minute full body strength class. So you guys can certainly, his profile is up on Peloton. You can absolutely head over to the Peloton website to get to learn more about Marcel. But he is coming out as a German strength coach. He replaces Irene, although she was a cycling instructor. He is the newest member to join that team. So I have not had an opportunity to do much research on him, but I'm sure that the German folks are pretty pleased that they have somebody new to work out with.
Very cool. Yeah, the Peloton family is getting even bigger. Once again.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to some rumor news on the Peloton Rower specifically, we have some more updates on some potential features of this possible rower that we've been hearing about over the past, going back 2 years now, I think, Amanda. But now a recent anonymous report has shed some light on a very unique feature that this new rowing machine might have. And it could include both a real-time form feedback device, as well as like a post-class form summary that really gives you like direct feedback on the way your movement, you're sliding back and forth and pulling on the rower. And so basically, once calibrated, they would have the option to then give real-time feedback alerts from the class. And then they would get an optional summary once it was completed. So with that, we've also had a job listing that ties in with this. So there was a recent job listing posted, and it specifically mentions rowers in the listing. So the listing it's for a senior product safety engineer. And in the job posting, Peloton mentions some of the connected devices that this person would be working on in the position. Specifically mentions a rower, and you can see that in the Pelo Buddy site where we have that posted. But it specifically says these devices, ranging from tiny sensor-based devices to powerful devices such as bikes, treadmills, rowers, and future large-scale products that will/have a profound impact on our daily lives. That's part of the verbatim word for word of the job listing. So more
definitely exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think it's ever going to happen, John? I mean, and now I think finally we have something that is more definitive than we've had in the past.
Yeah, maybe a year from now, maybe 2022 sometime. I don't know. It's not basing on it, but just it feels like we're getting closer and like they're really progressing whatever stage of development. It sounds like it's coming along. So
yeah, I'm sure a lot of it was halted with, back from pandemic. I'm sure we reported this. We've been reporting this for, as you said, months and months and months. So I'm sure the pandemic, impacted, and then I'm sure the whole tread recall stuff impacted when they had to go back and figure out what they were going to do with that. So
and finding the talent too to engineer, some of these complex machines.
The perfect piece of equipment.
Yeah, you got to have the right people too in place. But
sure.
still exciting because it's actual like real, to me it feels like real news of substance, it's happening.
Absolutely. It's coming. So folks, you know where to come. HIHF.
HIHF. You know where you'll hear it first, most likely.
Exactly.
If and when it's announced. Yes.
For sure.
Stay tuned.
For sure. Well, switching gears, this is going to be a weekend of love. Excuse the pun, excuse the pun, folks. But this weekend, not one, but two of our Peloton instructors are celebrating getting married. Both Ally Love and one of the newer instructors, Callie Gullickson, will be getting hitched. And we're so excited for both of them. I mean, just how fantastic. We do know that quite a few of the instructors are heading for the skies and to the beaches and traveling to celebrate Ally and Andrew. Certainly from Instagram posts over the last few days, we believe that Robin, Emma, Cody, Jen, Tunde, Hannah will all be celebrating. Jess Sims, thank you. I knew I left somebody out and I couldn't remember. Are all going to be celebrating with Ally. Clearly, they've been part of a family for so long now, and her relationship with them is fantastic. Not sure who will be at Callie's wedding, and of course, she's newer to the team and probably hasn't developed friendships, and her wedding had been postponed a couple times as it is. So I do not know where Callie's wedding is going to be. The rumor is that I have heard, and I'm putting it out there, that Ally and Andrew are getting married in Mexico. That's what I'm thinking. And if I'm not mistaken, John, and I'll put it out there, it's probably at Mayakoba. I know she has a strong relationship with the group at Mayakoba. She stayed there a ton in the past. That's down in Riviera Maya, down in the kind of the Cancun side of Mexico. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the wedding will be. I know, again, her and Andrew have been there a ton. And so I'm kind of putting it out there. It's my own HIHF.
Well, I think we'll know by the time this episode premieres. I think we'll have had confirmation of the location and venue. So time will tell.
I'll be excited to see if it is in fact Mayakoba. But my thoughts are that it's probably there. So that'll be. Oh, I can't wait to see it. I'm sure she's going to make the most spectacular bride.
Well, it's definitely Mexico, because a couple days ago, and I've only been seeing sprinklings of other instructors. It's funny. I'm sure Ally probably, because she said she went private on her Instagram because she was telling us that it was kind of our gift to see, firsthand, to be the first ones to see, her special time there. But I have a feeling Ally probably made it clear to all the attendees, including the instructors rather, don't like post anything identifiable as to where you're going to be, because Jen Sherman, she just posted an aerial picture from her plane window and then another shot of just all these liquor bottles. Tequilas, but Jess Sims, yeah. Then Jess Sims posted something. And that's when I knew they were in Mexico, because Jess Sims posted a little like indigenous animal.
Interesting.
It almost looks like it looks like a half raccoon, half possum. I forget what they're actually called, but they're native to the Cancun or Mexico region of that area. And they were all over our resort when Jackie and I were there back in April. Right. So that immediately I knew they were obviously somewhere in Mexico.
Yeah, no, it makes the most sense. It makes the most sense. And I'm excited.
Club Med, baby.
Excited.
Club Med.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's my
all the instructors, they're going to have all these beaded necklaces. That's how they have to pay with their drinks. They have to break off a bead. Remember that?
I do remember that. That's too
like
funny.
finding beads in the bottom of the pool to go buy a soda. Those are the days. Anyway.
So yeah. So Ally did share, and truthfully, I didn't have too much time to get to read the article, but she did share in Self Magazine this past week as well some of her wedding preparations and how she was preparing for her wedding. So certainly head over to pelobuddy.com and Self Magazine to get to read more about that. As far as Callie goes, I'm thinking Florida, just because that's where her family are from. And it seemed, some of the pictures that I'd seen, it definitely did look like it was Florida. So, huge congrats to both of them. And, I'm going to throw it out there. Ben and Leanne left Friday for Ibiza. And we are all crossing fingers that we're gonna come back with an engagement. And I feel so bad to even say it on air, because they must be getting so much pressure. But I will share. Though she'll probably kill me, but I will share that. It was as I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, the Yes to You Cruise 1 year anniversary, and we put together an amazing gift package for her in thanks for the amazing year that we have and the community that we've built up. And we enlisted Ben to be the 007 agent in making sure that he got everything, because stuff was sent to the studio, and he was just absolutely fantastic. We called him Agent Ben, and he loved it, and he was running around doing everything. And I had messaged her, and we were messaging each other, and I had said to her, I said, oh my God, Ben was on top form, running around. She goes, God damn it, here I thought she was going out running around for a ring. And she put that in her message. So it was like, smiley faces and laughing or whatever. And I went and I just did like praying signs, and I said, like, as if to say, let's hope that's what happens on vacation. But anyway, I guess that's something we'll hopefully hear soon.
That would be exciting, but I feel like we have to spread out all the big news life events a little bit, because this weekend is Ally and Callie's. Right. I mean, it'd be great if they got engaged, but let's.
I know. It would be like, it's kind of their weekend. It would be nice to. I hear you.
Because then Leanne and Ben won't get all the full attention because Ally and Callie are getting hitched.
I get you. I didn't think of it from that perspective, but
I was just thinking
they're away for a week, John. So maybe it'll become next week's news. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll kind of focus this week on Ally and Callie, and then they'll get back next week, and then the following week we'll get that news.
They'll announce it. Okay.
And you know what's going to happen. I folks will not be on air next week with you guys, as my husband and I get to celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary, and we are heading off on an amazing trip with my family. So we are going to have a guest host next week, and I can just see Ben and Leanne getting engaged, and I'm not going to be here to report it. I mean, I will just be gutted.
And myself and Tony Thinkinson going gaga over The
Right?
engagement news.
And I'm not going to be here to report it. Oh God! All right, Ben and Leanne, don't get hitched this. I mean, don't get engaged this weekend. I have to be here to announce it.
All right.
All right, folks. We are
Back
rambling.
on
Moving
back on text.
John.
Oh,
Moving
one
on.
one last thing. I was thinking when you said you were gabbing back and forth with Leanne. Is she aware that I co-host this show with you? Does she know like the connection? Does she know any connection? Because
I'm going to have to make sure she does.
message with her every now and then, and we go back a ways. So
Oh,
I was
all
just
right. Well,
curious
I'll make
if
sure
she
knows
knew.
that.
I was curious if she know how like buddy we are.
I'm going to have to make sure. Don't worry. I'm leaving her alone.
Just wondering.
Week.
That's just wondering.
There's no Leanne banter this week, but from next week, I'll make sure she knows, John.
All right.
Does Jen Sherman know that you and I are buddies?
Yeah, she's all Amanda. Amanda who? Moving on. So, for any of you that love the scenic rides, the scenic content, the leaderboard has returned partially to that new content. So, as part of Homecoming 2021, Peloton had launched new versions of their scenic rides and runs. So, the old rides and runs were removed, and then there was 3 new types added. So we had distance-based, time-based, and instructor-led or guided classes. And so one feature, though, with those new programs, the leaderboard was removed on the right-hand side for whatever reason. I think it was because they were putting metrics over in that area to show you during the course of the class. But just recently, with a new update to the bike and tread, for some, the leaderboard has now been restored to most of those scenic classes that are currently available. So this is on the time-based and the instructor-led classes. I wanted to be sure. So those 2 types of classes, you will have the leaderboard back on there. So if that's a big element, important to a lot of people to have that to push them, that's now been restored.
Yeah, I think it will be. I know that when it changed over, I had a couple of people reach out to me, a couple of my friends who typically only use that as the way of, they don't love classes. One guy specifically said to me, can you speak to Peloton and see if they could get that back? And I can tell him how I did.
Never heard.
I'd say, I spoke to them. Yeah.
I know I saw all the complaints about all the old classes being taken off, but I didn't see anything about specifically mentioning the leaderboard.
Yeah.
I've only done a couple,
friend who
but
didn't like that. He liked the competitiveness of the leaderboard and being able to follow somebody, even if he was just doing a regular scenic ride. So that is great. Yeah, that is great. Yeah, folks. So all what we can see now is that all the prenatal and postnatal classes on the platform can now be filtered out. This is a new feature that Peloton have included. Both the prenatal and postnatal classes have been available for members, for more than 2 years now, starting back in the day with Kristen McGee, and I believe there was one more instructor, and it's escaping me right now, who had launched that. Anna Greenberg. So Kristen McGee and Anna Greenberg had launched that. And then, of course, we know when Robin got pregnant, she took to the platform and created content for folks looking to cycle and wanting to continue while they were pregnant and utilizing the prenatal classes. And then, of course, once they delivered, those postnatal classes. And that was back in December. Back then, though, folks were not able to filter those classes out. And Peloton have now, in fact, added a filter function. So there are different ways in which folks can go onto the app or the bike, etc., to be able to filter those specific classes out. So yeah, folks, so if you want to figure out how to go ahead and do that, just head over to pelobuddy.com and you'll be able to see the 3 different options in order to go ahead and mute those settings. But I'm sure that some folks will appreciate that that's been a new offering for them.
Well, in other news, Amanda, something that I am very excited about, we have a upcoming new community event that is going to be put on with Peloton's own Rebecca Kennedy on Thursday, August 5th, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Join Rebecca, RK, in a virtual community event featuring stories of real Peloton members supporting each other on the leaderboard. To get more information on the event, just go to pelobuddy.com. We have all the links that you need, or on any of our social media pages. But I'm super excited because I love the community events that include the members in some way, whether it's on an IG Live or, at one of the, Q&As that they had for Homecoming 2021. And I especially loved the random chats that we participated in, the chat roulette with other members from that weekend. That was kind of fun. So this is super exciting because you can actually submit on one of the website links that's provided by Peloton. You can submit your leaderboard name, your email address, and you can add something about how the Peloton community has positively impacted you, or what effect, or how it's helped you. And then Peloton, I don't know how many members they will choose, but some of those will join the discussion with Rebecca Kennedy. So that's
HIHF
sounds super exciting to me. Yeah.
John Pruitt, HIHF. Are we going to get to see you? Are we going to get to see you on there?
Let's not get our hopes up too high over how many million members. I know. Yeah, I know. It would be fun, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. But I did submit something.
I always wonder how they pick. I always do wonder how they pick. There was just one of those just recently this past week with Maddie and Ben. Maddie was talking about strength, and they picked two members. There was a female member who was out of Hawaii, and then a guy out from Pennsylvania.
Matt. Yeah, ask first Matt. I know him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they do that every month. So you have to follow the program and complete all the suggested classes that, whichever instructor is doing the strength month, the strength series that month. And then they pick 2 or 3 people. So I know with Rebecca, with her month a while back, she had messaged me and said, "Hey, do you want to, join?"
I do remember that.
Do you want to join the chat? Did you follow the program? And I said, "Dude, I didn't do it. I would love to, but I'm not deserving." So
that's funny.
But that's how. So I would think that the instructor, I would think they have a little bit of say in who they choose. If Peloton probably weeds through the responses, but I'm sure they're involved in some aspect at some point.
Really cool.
Who they
That's
want to
going to
pick.
be a ton of fun.
So that would be fun. That would be fun on that platform to chat it up with RK.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to see. I'm hoping that I can jump on Thursday to watch it, but I'm not sure.
And for those who have missed Rebecca, she's still on the injured reserve. She's still recovering, taking time off. So this would be especially fun since I haven't seen her on my big tread screen in quite some time. So either way, I'm definitely tuning in because it sounds fun whenever they put on a community event like this. Oh, and just getting some feedback from the control room. I've just been corrected. She's got a class this Wednesday, Amanda.
Oh, wow, John. I think you're going to be on.
10:30 a.m. Eastern. And the
walk.
30-minute walk.
Yeah.
So I think I'll make it on for that one to welcome her back.
That's awesome.
So switching gears, Ben Alldis, he is bringing his Ministry of Sound music series to the Strength Studio with a Ministry of Sound X Strength collaboration with Peloton. It's going to be a series of 6 workouts that will come your way over the course of the month of August. So stay tuned for more details, but that was just recently announced. We know Ben, he has a passion for music. He loves the playlist that he calls and puts together of all these bangers. So that should be fun. See what kind of music see what kind of music he puts out. I know Peloton also has fun with Ben in the way he says how he loves every song, because they just recently put out an Insta reel of, another collection, another montage of Ben talking about how he loves the music. And he called some songs belters, which I've never heard that referred to. A belter?
It's a
Give me the
very
bangers.
That is a very English word.
I've never heard that
Belter is
before.
a very English phrase.
I thought he just made that up because he didn't want to say banger. He didn't want to get made fun of for saying banger anymore.
Yeah, it is an English phrase. He's so adorable. He's so adorable. So yeah, we spoke about it, I think, in last week's show, or maybe the week before, about he had kind of collaborated and put together his own strength stack, I guess last month or this past month in July. So he is actually the new strength coach for the month of August.
For August.
So it'll kind of be nice to bring the Ministry of Sound and him being on the platform. And you know what, John, maybe that's a good motivator for me if I get to do all of his strength challenge, and maybe he'll have me on at the end of the month as he banters, I mean, this could be it, right? This could be my big moment.
Well,
it's
Ben,
all about strength.
I don't know if you remember, but after one of the Ride to Greatness classes, he went live for his team. I forget if he was Activate. I think he was Validate. He went live for Validate, and he randomly brought on our friend Sandy, Boss Bitch 122, just randomly on the IG Live.
I mean, it was insane. I still can't believe that he did that. That was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So I don't know. Maybe that's motivation, certainly for me, to want to do the new strength challenge for August. It's going to be a little challenging. August is going to be a busy month, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And for you folks out there, if you want to maybe get an opportunity, who knows, maybe our friend Daisy Mack. I can see her. She does all the strength challenges, so I can see her being someone that could potentially get picked to chat with Ben at the end of the month. So, folks, maybe motivation for you to hop onto that strength platform and start doing more strength and adding it to your repertoire. Yeah, so Peloton announced on Friday the release of yet another artist series. This week it features rocker Chris Cornell and his 90s music that created a grunge movement. I do not know, Chris, you folks know if you watch the show regularly, I do not like rock music. So John, I'm going to have you tell me, is he cool? Is he good?
He's
Are you
cool.
doing these rides?
He's very cool, but he's also dead, Amanda. Sadly to say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I missed that part. I'm sorry.
No, but it's okay. But no, he was a legend. Like in the '90s grunge scene, he was the front man for Soundgarden. So they were just as big as like Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains, like all those. Like Seattle, I don't know if they were out of Seattle, but just coming out of the Seattle grunge scene. And one of their massive hits was Black Hole Sun in the 90s. And there was a popular MTV music video. But he's also done amazing acoustic covers, particularly of Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You. He's been on Howard Stern. He's performed on Howard Stern. But yeah, he, I think it was Audioslave, Temple of the Dog. He had some other projects that were with other mega superstars that he collaborated with after Soundgarden. But sadly he did die by suicide actually in Detroit after a show he had done a few years back. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, sure. Yeah, so I did not. I'm not a huge rock fan, and we kind of threw that into the show because we were excited that we knew that it was going to be
artist series.
Going to be a new artist series, and it's such a cool one. And I did see the back and forth of folks saying about how excited they were to have that on there. So I knew it was going to be a good one. So I don't believe at time of release that we know what exactly is going to be happening.
Christine, I know Christine is doing a ride. She's doing Okay, Emma's got thank you, control room. Emma's got a strength class. Okay, we got a yoga flow and strength with Emma, run with Adrian Williams. The one class I did see was with Christine Dierkel. I'm going to do this one. It's on Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., 45-minute. Chris Cornell ride. I was actually surprised. I was kind of expecting to see Jen Sherman being one of the cycling instructors, because I know she's a massive Chris Cornell fan, because she's talked about him all the time when she plays, his music, and she loved him on Howard Stern as well.
Well, maybe the fact that she's out partying in Mexico is the reason she's not she's not on the schedule.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So we also actually did see, just switching gears a little bit, we actually also did see 14 new mood classes being dropped this past week, and that brings us to 46 across the platform. So they really are pushing these mood classes. I mean, I've done a couple and I love them. I haven't done any of the new ones that were just dropped, but we did see a happy mood run with Bex, a heated run with Andy, which I think could probably be kind of cool. I'd love to see what a heated run's all about.
How is Andy getting worked up and mad? I'm not sure.
Right? I can't imagine Andy getting mad either, but it'll be fun to see. I mean,
it'll just be fun to see how he tries. It'll just be fun to see how he tries to get fired up, to get heated.
Right. I also thought it was interesting. There's a sad mood ride with Jess King, and I just don't put Jess King and sad in the same kind of bubble. You always see as being funny and upbeat and whatever. So
I see more Emma doing the sad.
Yeah. I actually, funny enough, or even Olivia. I could have seen kind of Olivia being more melancholy, and that could be. So it should, that should be good. And then Krista McGee has a happy yoga flow, and that's just to name a few, folks. So you can certainly head over to pelobuddy.com to check out the full list of all the new mood stuff that's been released.
In other new content news, we also have some new Breathe In, Speak Up content, BISU. So from Tunde and Dr. Chelsea Jackson Roberts, we have a new Speak Up ride from Tunde, and a yoga, slow flow, and BISU meditation from Dr. Roberts. So check those out on the platform when you have a chance.
Excellent. And then Peloton did announce this past Thursday that their Q4 2021 earnings results will be released, and that will be, folks, on Thursday, August the 26th. They will also hold a call, as they do each quarter, to discuss the results, and that is going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on that same day, August 26th. I think that we can certainly anticipate that there are going to be questions regarding the tread recall numbers, and when we're going to see the tread being back out there for sale and for folks to be able to purchase the tread again. So I'm sure that that's going to be something. Maybe they'll talk about the rower. Maybe it'll come out in the fourth quarter earnings. I don't think so, though, because that is probably a 2022 thing, as we said, but definitely how the tread has impacted, the earnings. And that damn stock is up and down like a frigging yo-yo, and it drives me insane. I mean, if it could just remain steady, I'd be happy, but honestly, it is that one stock, as everyone knows, I watch, religiously, and I'm so proud that I own, my own little, bank account of my Peloton stock, and boy, oh boy. So I'm curious to see everything that comes out of that fourth quarter earnings call, and I'm sure they're going to talk about much, much more.
All right. Well, I won't forget that date, because that's our wedding anniversary, Jackie, my wedding anniversary with Jackie. So.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Half the amount of years that you have. We're only 15.
All right. You're getting there. You're catching up.
But we're going strong. We're still going strong.
Awesome.
Well, in other news, so as we shared last week, Peloton officially teased that they're working on a video game mode that'll be available in a few months for the Bike and Bike Plus. Tentatively called Peloton Lane Break. Well, they just recently filed a trademark for that name. Some of the original reports on the game noted that it would be subject to change before it was officially released, but it appears that little subject to change caveat is more of just a contingency. So recent trademark filings indicate Peloton does plan to use the name Lane Break. So I guess they're not going with Pelotron, or that didn't get back to the higher ups. Apparently late last week, Peloton filed an application with the U.S. Patent Trademark Office to trademark the name Lane Break. So yada, 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 serial number was filed on July 20th. And the day after the first news about Peloton, Lane Break was then revealed. So that's what we got on the video game front news. Stay tuned for more.
Yeah, I'm
hopefully.
Sorry your name never got picked up, John. I think it could have been
I know.
cool.
I just hope
sounded fabulous.
I just hope I get to be one of the early testers, but I won't be able to spill the goods on here if I am. So.
Yeah, of course you won't. What we did see though this week, something really interesting, or at least I thought it was interesting. App Figures, a company that provides tools and reporting data for mobile apps, published a report that estimated the amount of revenue Peloton has been making over time in the Google Play and Google App Store. The graph showed numbers from January 2019, and it goes all the way through to just a few weeks ago, tracking the revenue that's been earned from in-app sales. So, for example, digital subscriptions in Peloton iOS and Android apps. At the end of 2019, Peloton was adding about 10,000 a day of net revenue from content through its app in the US. By April of 2020, that net revenue had more than doubled to 25,000 a day. And according to their estimates, and the daily revenue doubled again by the end of summer with 50,000 a day in August of 2020. In June of 2021, the net revenue was hitting 6 digits. So all of this, wow. I think, is just to kind of say that the numbers should not be seen as an estimate of the total revenue of all Peloton digital subscribers, but just a portion of it. And the reason for sharing this data is just visualizing the growth of the app over time, which is pretty cool, and to show how many folks have adopted to this amazing platform. So I thought that was some really interesting feedback. Of course, there's more on pelobuddy.com if you really want to kind of get into the weeds of what they were looking at. But that was just kind of a snippet of what I thought was pretty interesting information.
And you have to I have to give credit to the Peloton app, because it is an extremely well-built, put-together app. When I compare it to, like, I have the SoulCycle app. Like we have SoulCycle in Ann Arbor. And I've used like the Cycle Bar app, and obviously that's a studio-based, just class, but obviously they've been putting out more content since pandemic. But like the Peloton's app, pretty A+ in terms of ease of use and interface and everything that they pack into that. So
yeah. And
and apparently on Android, it suffers a bit. Apparently on Android, it's not as good.
Yeah, that really sucks though. So I guess iOS definitely has the market there, and that's interesting, because I have to say I love the app. And it's amazing to be able to take my workouts wherever I go. And, there's never an excuse. There's never an excuse to say you can't work out, because whether it's a 5-minute core or a 10-minute body strength,
or a meditation,
body strength, or a meditation, or even, and I'll share that in my picks of the week, but even jumping on the treadmill, on a regular treadmill, and using the app, you still get the amazing content that they provide. So it is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, we had a couple photo shoot teases, so keep an eye out for another apparel collection coming in the near future. So Alex and Emma both individually teased on their Instagram profiles. They had just done a photo shoot for, an upcoming collection, I would assume. So I don't know when that actually comes out, what the turnaround time is from when they take all the pictures and, get all glammed up to when they actually, release it. But keep an eye out.
Well, there is no question there, John, that is one thing that members cannot complain about any longer. I mean, we just spoke about the new apparel drop last week on the show, and there is just merchandise being dropped all the time. So there is something for everybody now. Nobody has
weird.
any excuse.
I'm like totally off the whole apparel crate. I just haven't bought it in so long. I'm just waiting to like find something that looks perfect for me to burn a referral code for.
It's so funny that you just say that, because honestly, that is exactly how I am. I never bought anything from the last drop. I'm almost embarrassed about how much I do have, to the point that it's, how much can you wear? You wear it, but it kind of, and I wasn't thoroughly impressed. And funny enough, on a ride this past week, I was wearing a similar top. So the stuff's starting to become a little bit more similar, even in different, it's different, but from previous collections. And somebody said, oh, you were twinning with Leanne. And I'm like, no, I really wasn't twinning with Leanne, because mine was an older model, and hers was from the new drop. But there's definitely tons of merchandise. So I guess they heard the cries, and they are fulfilling our Peloton apparel needs for all those folks that do still want to purchase and jump on the bandwagon.
Well, I mean, that apparel is basically a license to print money. Just
100%.
It gets scooped up so quick, but at least now it's not all selling out like it did, 6 months ago.
Right, and you had to be in a frenzy to get on at 10 a.m. on a Thursday morning, or you weren't going to get what you wanted.
Yeah.
So
if you were a woman, the guys we didn't have those woes or problems.
True.
But yeah, the women definitely, they were having problems.
It was harder for us to get stuff. So And then, folks, this past week, Peloton and one of its digital members, a former cheerleader, Rachel Davis, was featured in People magazine, which I thought was so cool. Rachel says that she never got on the bike, but has used the app solely to regain her strength and after having her second baby. So this was a member who purely had digital access. She does not own the hardware, but she has utilized the app to build up her strength. So after giving birth to her first child, she said she didn't love the way that she felt or looked, and she had actually hired a personal trainer, but she found that the progress was rather slow. She was shocked to discover that she was pregnant again very shortly after having had her first child, so never really got a chance to lose that baby weight before she was already pregnant and was going to be having a second child. But she said that once she had delivered, she realized that she was actually at the heaviest she had ever been, and decided that she did need to, in fact, take control of her physical fitness and turn things around. In the article, she does state that in June 2020, she began exercising regularly, taking HIIT classes, walking with her boys in the stroller, and, as I quote, focusing on being a better me. She started to see the change happen slowly and claimed that she was really ready for more. So in September, she signed up for a free trial of the Peloton app and started streaming classes just on her phone. She said she ended up joining a local gym. She would bring her phone to the gym to follow the Peloton's guided workouts right there. And her first treadmill class was with instructor Adrian Williams. She said, I didn't know anything about the coaches, and I hadn't joined any Facebook groups yet. I was just testing the waters. And when Adrian started dropping the F-bomb in class and dancing on the treadmill, she was, yes, this is for me. I love this. And as in other amazing members that we have featured here on the show, Rachel's story is so unbelievably inspiring. And she said that she truly hopes that sharing her progress, certainly in her photographs and her fitness journey, will in fact motivate, others moving forward. So I love that this was somebody that, didn't go out and purchase the expensive hardware, but was able to utilize the app as a tool for her fitness journey, and has done amazingly well. So again, head over to pelobuddy.com, because the article was truly inspirational. And, as I said, we've certainly had our fair share of amazing members on the show over the past year in featuring their amazing weight loss, but seeing it being published by somebody else was fun to see. So yeah.
Yeah, she really, I mean, that just goes to show you take full advantage of the app, because there is so much you can do
that
with just the app alone without the bike and the tread and any other equipment. Well, let's move on, Amanda, to some instructors in the news. Cody, most recently, was interviewed in GQ. Check out that article titled Cody Rigsby's Raunchy Ride to Stardom. Cody kind of talks all about his not wanting to be confined to just one box of a fitness instructor, and Peloton really allowed him to grow, personally and spiritually into kind of his own style that we now know and come to expect and love from him. So it was kind of a funny article, talking about his mom and his early days, but also more of his teaching style, how he likes to instruct. The article goes on to say, if you're not into Peloton yourself, this might be hard to appreciate, but there are different flavors of instructors. So depending on, what you're looking for or craving, you've got Robin Arzon for the girl boss inspiration. You got Andy Spear for the nerds, because I guess they're trying to say he's a little bit corny, but we love Andy. Alex Toussaint for some tough love. Got Cody Rigsby's a hit with anyone who wants a gay best friend to delight them and dispense some lightly chaotic advice. That's kind of funny way to describe Cody in a nutshell there. But a fun article. And he was also recently featured interview in Advocate, as well as Jess King had her own feature as well in Advocate. So also check those out. Jess's her feature was titled Jess King on Making Every Workout a Pride Ride, and Cody's was titled Peloton's Cody Rigsby on Sweating with Pride.
Wow. Tunde was also featured, John. So there have been quite a few instructors out there.
On
Tunde
Advocate
was
as well?
No. Tunde was featured, interestingly enough, in Delish. And she was sharing what she eats in a day. So that was a kind of a different spin on what the instructors, just not their own personal stories, but something that, and as we know, Tunde, was a heavy
did a
young
huge
girl.
weight loss journey.
And exactly. So she shared with Delish in what she eats in a day, and says that what she fuels her body with is definitely a conscious decision to keep her mentally and physically in shape. She says her mornings begin with 2 glasses of water to get her system running. On days when she's working out, she starts with a bulletproof coffee. And on other days, she'll pair the coffee with some fruits and vegetables. She shared that she does like to vary her diet while still hitting the major food groups. She says she tries to have veggies at every meal, adding lean protein, but she says nuts are a huge part of her diet. And I am right there with you, Tunde. I make sure I have my Trader Joe almonds.
Hey, I got my Costco cashews. We're getting nutty.
Tunde, we've heard you, and we are nutty just like you. I actually did find that was interesting, because I always, initially before I kind of got onto my own fitness journey, I always perceived nuts as being something that was fattening. I wouldn't want to eat nuts because they, but they really are good for you. And it was nice to read how she incorporates that into her diet. Definitely head over to pelobuddy.com to learn more about what keeps Tunde in the epic physical condition that she's in, because she is truly an inspirational person in how she took care of herself and has continued. And she is ripped like none other. I mean, it is amazing to see her physique on the bike. So, I thought that was interesting.
I'm trying to get arms. I'm trying to get guns like hers, but can only do so much with what I got.
You got exactly.
But I am jealous. I'm jealous of those arms on Tunde.
Yeah, she's so unbelievably ripped. It's fantastic. I mean, so many of them are, but it's amazing. So yeah, John. So wow, lots of news, and I guess now it's time for picks of the week. You want
Let's
to go
dive
first?
right in. You want?
Who's going? I'll go first.
I'll go. Okay, you go first.
We really should prepare this before we go on
You
air.
offer it up.
Really
You offer it up, and then you don't even wait for me to. You want to go first? Okay, I'll go first.
Oh, I'm terrible. But you know what? I'm
Go.
going to go first. I'm going first.
You can go first.
I'm going first. It was an awesome week for me. My pick of the week this week, folks, is starting off with Sam Yo's Broadway ride from Monday, July the 26th. It is no question my top pick of the week. I know that you're all surprised. For those of you that watch the show all the time and certainly follow me are probably surprised that it's not a Leanne ride. She'll be in there. But Sam Yo's Broadway ride was fantastic. With an opening to The Greatest Showman, to Roar, Seasons of Love from Rent, My Shot from Hamilton, and a favorite of mine, Idina Menzel's Defying Gravity from Wicked. It was truly a absolute party on the bike in Broadway and West End magic. He is phenomenal, and I know some folks say that he's sleepy, but when you put him with a Broadway ride, this is his second one that I've done. There may have been more, but he puts everything into it with his jazz hands, and it was amazing. It was amazing, and I did post about it, and he reposted my post, so I was really excited that he acknowledged that I thought that the ride was so fantastic. My second pick is Leanne's 30-minute low-impact ride from last Sunday. That was July the 25th. Now, one could say that I picked this one because it just happened to be my 1,600th milestone ride, and I got an awesome shout out. But you know what, folks? It truly was a perfect recovery ride. It's early on a Sunday morning. I don't typically love to get up that early, but she does do a 7 a.m. Eastern Time Sunday morning ride. So being a low impact was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And the ride was amazing. So I always encourage folks, if you don't jump on those low impact rides, do them. I think it is a way of just kind of resetting, and my body was tired. I kind of did a lot of riding towards the end of the week to hit the 1,600 ride for her because she was going to be out of town and I was out of town this week. So I'm really pleased that I did, because it was an awesome ride. And then I did take to the floor. And this week I did a few different things on the floor, but my pick is Ben's 10-minute bodyweight strength class. That was also from Monday, July the 26th. Folks, I absolutely love Ben's strength classes. I have tried other ones. I have tried other instructors. I do tend to always gravitate back to him. I'm really, really excited about him doing the August challenge or the August stack, because I really want to motivate myself to try and get more strength in. And this particular one did not disappoint. I loved the fact that it was a body weight strength, so you didn't need any equipment. In fact, I did it twice. I did it on Monday when it dropped, and then I did it again while I was away, because I loved it. It was only 10 minutes, and it was a good way to get some body strength in. And then lastly, I hit the tread. So again, being out of town, so interestingly enough, the hotel we stayed at, of course, we, scouted it out, and it had 2 Peloton bikes, which was fantastic. And one of the reasons we ended up staying there, I believe it's on Chris's list, but it's the Nobu Hotel in Caesar's Palace. So it's kind of a little boutique hotel that had within Caesar's Palace, but they had 2 Peloton bikes, but they were bikes and they weren't bike pluses. And I do, before I get to my last pick of the week, I do want to share this with folks. And I did say it on my social media, and I'm going to reiterate it again. There is a significant difference between bikes, whether you're using a bike or whether you're using a bike plus or whether you are on a bike. And don't beat yourselves up if you are not getting outputs that others are getting, because every bike is different. So I jumped on the bike in the hotel, and actually both Tracy and myself recalibrated the bikes. So I know that some folks ask me about that, but you can in fact go on, and if you go to pelobuddy.com, Chris shows you how to recalibrate an original bike. but you can go in there and recalibrate it, which we did. And I jumped on to do her ride from Wednesday, which was her country ride. It was a fun ride. I did it live, and I was flying. I made a personal best. And I could see my output. You follow yourself, and I could see it. And I thought to myself, do I slow myself down because I don't want to, get this crazy PB and then I'm not going to be able to? And I just rode. I listened to the music. I had fun. Yeah. I did. I just enjoyed it because it was a fun ride. But I'm pointing this out today because I want folks to recognize that don't beat yourself up if you're not making outputs that others are making. Don't get frustrated, because I did that. I did that for so long. And this was just another indication for myself to say, you do you, Amanda. Don't worry about what anyone else. And of course, I had, folks messaging me saying, I pushed you and I could see that you were going to hit a PB. And I'm like, I have to delete that ride. So,
you don't have to delete it though, Amanda. Just reset your PBs.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. When I get back from my trip the week after next, I will reset my PBs because, So I did, again, I went off on a banter there, but I wanted to remember to say that on the show today because so many people reached out to me about that. And I want you folks to recognize that, just do you and just try and make you, know that you're getting stronger and know that you're doing better, but don't be focused so much on what that output number is. So that's kind of my 2 cents. With that being said, because of the fact that I got this unbelievable PB, I just didn't have the heart to get back on the bike and do another ride because I knew I was just going to be gutted.
You recalibrate it.
Amazing, I guess.
It sounds like
amazing PB.
It sounds like you jacked it up even more after you calibrated it.
I probably did, but it was actually funny. It was interesting, John, because Tracy recalibrated her bike. And for the first time ever, I beat Tracy on the leaderboard, and we were right next to each other. So it was kind of cool doing that. And I could see her going, MF, I can't even nearly get to my PB. And she was probably about, 60 or 70 kJs behind me, which really, again, she's a much stronger rider than I am, and we both have bike pluses at home. So it really was evidence right there and then that every bike's different, and you just got to, kind of do you.
Yeah.
So
do you? No two bikes are created equal.
Exactly.
All right.
Getting back to picks of the week, I just want to say this one thing. So I did end up doing a walk because I didn't want to run. So I used the app and I jumped on Jess Sims' 90 minutes. It was a 20-minute 90s walk from Wednesday. And it did not disappoint. The tracks were perfect. An opening to I Say a Little Prayer, which is one of my favorites from the 90s, to Jessica Simpson classic, I Think I'm in Love with You. And she even threw in the Spice Girls with Who Do You Think You Are? So it was fun and hard. It was an incline that almost killed me. We got up to 15%.
Oh, God.
But it was fantastic. It was a perfect sweat session for being out of town and still getting a workout in. So those are my 4 picks of the week.
Very nice. Well, I'm going to keep mine short to the point because I know we are tight on time, Amanda, because you just left me so much time to give all my picks. So it's fine. I'm busting your chops. All right. I'm going to start off. My first pick is a 60-minute classic rock ride from my absolute number one, Jen Sherman, JSS. It is from Sunday. It's her Sunday 60, we'll call it, from July 25th. And all the great classic rock artists, The Who, Stones, Beatles, Queen, Jackson Browne. You couldn't ask for a more solid classic rock playlist, unless she included the Grateful Dead, which she didn't this time. But my favorite, I always have a favorite track usually in each class. And this time she played 2 Elton John tracks, but the first one she did of Elton's was Leave On. And that one was just, the way it hit at that point in the ride was perfect. Great 60 minutes. Another
Well, folks have been
60-minute
screaming.
class.
Folks have been screaming for 60-minute classes, right? So
Yeah.
that was awesome that she
And there's
that she put that in there.
Yeah, and normally she did that pre-pandemic Sunday mornings. JSS would always teach a 45-minute class, and then right after that, like 15 minutes after that, would be a 60-minute class, and that was the norm for Sunday mornings with Jen. Hopefully, we eventually get back to that, but she would do that every week. But I got another 60-minute for you. 60-minute tread boot camp with Andy Spear. This one was at 6 o'clock at night on a Wednesday, the 28th, and I did this live. It just worked out I could do that one. Yeah, and I was super excited, and Andy, he saw me on the leaderboard and pre-show and was all, we have a very special guest. So he was very excited to see me on there. And it was a hip hop playlist, and no exaggeration, the playlist was perfection. And I told Andy that in his live, and he was all, wow, Pruitt's actually telling me I had perfect music. I think they think I'm like a bit of a music snob when I like push my opinions and recommendations on them. But it started off, the boot camp started off with Ice Cube's I got to say it was a good day. And that from there, it set the tone for the rest of the class. But you had Ice Cube, like I said, Dre and Snoop, Nicki Minaj, he even threw in a Beastie Boys. So he really had a good mix of different hip hop genres, Nelly and DMX. So a great 60-minute, I think it was full body. And then also moving on now to Matty Majacomo, who I haven't been working out much with him as of recent. I did his 20-minute walk plus run. I did it on demand the day after it came out, but it's from Wednesday, the 28th of July as well. 20-minute walk plus run. It's goes by quick, obviously, but hits by Elton John, Gaga, Michael Bublé, and then some funny moments. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I included the clip that I sent Chris. That should be playing when I'm talking about that. So if you can make out the audio, a little funny moment there. And then to round out, your girl Leanne, you missed her 30-minute new wave ride, but that's going to be my fourth and final pick of the week from Thursday the 29th.
Look at that. I know, I can't wait to do it. I haven't done it yet, and I am definitely doing it before I head out of town. It's I heard it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Devo, Human League, Talking Heads Burning Down the House is probably my favorite in the whole playlist, but Flock of Seagulls, Duran Duran. And then I know Leanne went live, not live, but in her stories, she asked the question, what are your favorite new wave tracks? And I told her In Excess, Don't Change, and Erasure's A Little Respect. I love hearing those songs, but could also be new wave. And Leanne said, I was going to put A Little Respect on the playlist, but I just couldn't make it work. So keep an eye out for that
Maybe
one.
Next time.
Upcoming
Leanne
Leanne ride. Yeah.
She likes those new waves.
Yeah, it's very upbeat poppy. So maybe she'll get it in an 80s ride. Hopefully you don't have to wait until another new wave. But either way, so those were some fun ones. So it was a good workout. I really tried I did some strength. I did a legs, and I was really trying to just not just do all bike related, like I can easily, get into that habit. So
yeah. 100%.
Good week.
No, I think we had a good week. I know. And even with me being out of town, I felt happy that I was, I had a good mix of stuff and got to the floor, which was great. And it's so bizarre. Not one person in the gym. Not one person. It was just, I guess when you go to Vegas, only two crazy Peloton nuts will find the Pelotons and, work out for 2.5 hours.
Nobody wants to be in the gym in Vegas.
We literally laughed at each other. And, we said only the two of us would be in the gym. And we were there for 2 days. But you know what? I had no desire to really walk. It was 108 degrees. And I had no desire to walk around Vegas in any capacity. So this was perfect for us. But it just shows you, folks, you have the app, take it wherever you go, and it's amazing.
You do it anywhere, yeah.
Exactly. So it was a busy week of news. I will miss you all next week, and I'm looking forward to a little time away, and we'll be back the week after with tons going on. But hopefully, let's see how it works out with the guest co-host, and hopefully we can have you back the week after, Amanda. Yeah, maybe. So I guess that wraps it up from us. I guess you've all gotten a great show of John and my banter this week. You've certainly said you like it, so I hope you continue to. I will miss you all next week. I look forward to being back on the show, unless my guest co-host does really well and John tosses me. But otherwise, you guys have a fantastic couple weeks, and I will see you all soon. Bye from Maryland.
And bye from Michigan. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.